Okay, I'm going to start this now. Even though no one's watching, that I can see anyway. So this afternoon I'm going to be building a little kit. It's an RC2014. It's the classic version. It's a remake of the original RC2014 Spencer Owen did way back when. It's a very simple thing. It doesn't have storage as yet. I've just got to adjust some volumes. 1 second. That's a bit better. Okay, it's a classic version. He originally designed this as a part of the work he was doing on. I've forgotten what it's called now. Anyway, it doesn't matter. He published it. A lot of people picked it up and started running with it. It's a very nice little Z80 based homebrew computer. Bought this one a couple of weeks back. Showed up last week, I think. It's a Fundrauser model. Spencer felt he needed to help out some people in Ukraine, so he started a fundraiser selling these. I'm happy to participate. The money I know is going to a good charity within Ukraine itself, so not a major issue. So let's open this up and see what's in it. I always love the packaging, Spencer and people like Spencer and Steve Cousins in the UK with their kits. I've got quite a few Steve Cousins ones, and he packs them in a similar fashion. Essentially an electronic flat pack. And as you'll see when I get this open, it goes to an awful lot of trouble to make the kit accessible to anyone. So you've got a soldering iron and aren't afraid to give it a go. These are actually quite good kits to begin electronics hobbying with. So as we can see here, what have we got in here? Got the soldering kit assembly and user guide. All the components. All the components listed. The 5 boards actually 6 boards involved in the kit. It's really nicely done. Really do like Spencer and Stephen's work. As you can see, some very impressive little diagrams and everything. What I might do is switch to the other camera. That's a better view. Okay, then we've got on the invoice. Everyone now knows where I live. And a bunch of stickers. Pretty cool. I do believe there are a number of 3D print cases available for the Classic, so I might print one out later on and put it together. And we've got a bunch of component parts. Once again, he's getting pretty good. It's all recyclable. Cardboard and paper instead of foam. I will do, if I can find it. Let's get my little component tray. I'll put all these components out. As you will see as I pull this thing apart, there is a definite theme associated with this. we've got here are the ICs involved, or the ICs. There is a colour theme. Hope everyone can hear me. There's all the ICs with the ROM. It's marked up, very nice. Here, I do believe, all the connectors. Once again, you'll see a theme developing here. Yep, connectors, sockets. It's really nice work with the recyclable packaging. Love it. These will be the modular cards. Okay, we've got, it's a serial I/O. That, if it will focus, come on, focus. It's not going to focus on me. Anyway, that's a serial card. Uses an ACIA. That's the clock and reset card. Once they're built, you'll see that they're pretty, there we go, pretty cool little cards. These plug into the motherboard or the backplane, which I will show you momentarily. I know I'm creating a lot of noise. Let's get rid of all this paper. That's a 32K RAM card. We have the ROM card. It takes a 64K ROM and actually has a number of different ROM images on it. At least I hope it does. And we've got the CPU card. Very simple card. And lastly, the backplane. Oh, get it in shot. So you can see the colour scheme, reminiscent of a certain flag. That's the whole point of this particular, it was a limited edition run, and I figured, you know, do my bit for Ukraine and get a unique RC2014. Okay, so that's all the bits. Doesn't appear like a great deal, but anyway, let's get rid of all the packaging so it doesn't make too much noise. I heard it crackling through. So we've got our parts, which actually aren't a great deal of parts, which is really good because it is a very simple design and it works quite nicely. And it's very expandable. This will run basic, and it will run a Z80 monitor program. You can flash the ROMs up to also include CPM. You can plug in compact flash cards, which I may do later on, just for giggles. May do that if I have the time. But to begin with, I think we'll do the backplane and get it all populated. And to do that, I'm going to use my little jig. It's a very useful jig if you're doing printed circuit boards. In this particular case, I'm going to put it in this way. Let's see if I can get the camera queued up so you can see what I'm doing. Lift this camera up a bit. There we go. Now you can see the board. just clamp it off. Move it up a bit. Now it can swing easily from top to bottom. A very useful bit of kit, this. Got this from J-Car for about 20 bucks. Very useful. I think we'll start the other way around and start populating the stuff for the power side of things before we put the slots in. Now, you can run this on pure 5 volts, or there's enough room. He's put enough room in here for 7805. Now I actually do have a 7805 here, so I might just do that. I'm not sure I've got the capacitors though. And of course the capacitors are, I'll get my second pair of eyes. The capacitors, there's a 10 microfarad and a 100 mic. Let's see if I've got a 10 mic and a 100 mic. There's still no one on. Yeah. So what is this one? That's a 33. That's not going to help us anyway. This is a 10 microfarad 25 volt. Very useful. Now I've got some stuff here. Let's see if I've got the 100 mic. If I don't, then I'm not going to worry about it. If I do, I will actually do a lot. Here we go. It's a 100 mic. I'm going to be 75, 7805 regulators. Let's see, is that 7805? Yep, that's a 7805. So we have the parts to actually do the power supply. So we can use pretty much any input voltage. I just lost my components. I'll pull them out over here. And we will start with the 7805, and we will cut. We'll bend the leads on this, just like this. And it should fit in there, but to double check, I have a sneaking suspicion I've got to actually cut a trace here to run the 7805. Let's blue tack that down for the moment, and let's start soldering. Soldering iron up and running. It's up to speed. Let's do a bit of tinning, clean the tip off a bit. It's had a rough life recently. I'm sure that's going to make a hell of a racket, so I'm just going to pull this soldering off. Let's start with this. Now done. I think that mic's picking up everything. I may have to invest in a better mic. we shall see. This may be the one and only stream I do, especially considering no one's joined. At least I'm not seeing anyone joining. Oh well, anyway. Continue on. That's soldered in. Take that off. Then I might do the 330 ohm resistor. It'll be in this collection. 330 ohm. There's the caps. Let's put the board somewhere safe. There's the 330 ohm resistor and the diode. Very nice. Stuck them together. Perfect. These off. I may have to drop the volume a tad. Getting a lot of crashing coming out of the speaker, so let's drop this down a bit. Hopefully that won't make it too soft for you guys to hear. Now, 330 ohm resistor. Even put it in the way I wanted it, right way around. I think the microphone needs to be on the other side, but I'm not going to do anything about it now. There's the 330 ohm resistor done. Do the LED power indication LED. Now, the plus goes on that side, the cathode goes on that side. Solder it on. Okay. I have no idea what I just knocked over, but anyway. What are we up to next? I'll do this 3.2K resistor here, which is part of the reset. Part of the reset circuit, so we need 2.2K, which I believe this is. 2.2K, we'll pop this off. Just to verify myself. My eyes are getting old. I'll grab my little tester. which you can't see, but I will fix that momentarily. Let's see if you can see this. It should read 2.2K. Look at that. 2.168. Let's put it in the board. Solder it down. I'll put this over here. Nice one, Randall, nice one. It's a little out now, so that's a bit better. That one's a little out too. It should be a bit better. Next time, don't knock the camera over. Next time, maybe get a better camera mount. Clippers. Clip these leads off. Now, the two caps. Let's put the two caps on. 100 mic. 100 microfarad, 25 volts should be sufficient. Negative goes this way, so positive goes that way. 100 mic, yep, that's the one. Some of you may be wondering why I haven't done this before. I haven't been interested mainly because I haven't been able to see very well. I've had cataracts for a year or so, which made it very difficult to see fine work. I had them both eyes fixed recently. It's so much nicer to be able to see what I'm doing. It's amazing. 10 mic, 25 volt. Whilst 100 microfarad is very cheap and nasty from J-Card, this particular 10 mic is actually a Edittion from Mouser, and it's a much better quality cap, but this is just a homebrew computer for playing with. It really doesn't need to be NASA rated. And there's the 10 mic done. Clip the leads off. Looking better. We got that. I'll screw that down later on. Now we need the power connector, which is yellow, to suit. Now, I long ago figured that the best way to keep stuff seated on the board when you're messing around on the other side is to just use a bit of blue tack. Now I'm going to pin solder just one the connectors for the moment, which is this side. Because what I want to do is try and get it straight. The number of these things that I've put on, and it's ended up cockeyed because they don't fit perfectly, which is a bit of a shame. Let's get that blue tack off. And make sure it's straight, make sure it's level. Yep, that looks good. I'll solder up this. Sorry for my hand being in the way, guys. If I continue on with streaming, I might get a better bloody camera setup. If not, so be it. Okay, that's done. Last thing on this end is the actual reset switch, which is a little, oh, it's even yellow to suit. So let's place that on. It's actually quite a nice looking board, this yellow board. Which is pretty cool. Need to get these in to the holes nicely. This is another one I always get screwed up, is the tactile switches. Always end up crooked or cockeyed or something like that. Unlevel, etc. So make sure that's sitting down. Make sure it's straight. Yep. Solder off the other 3 pins. Make sure there's plenty of solder on them. Looking good. Those top 2 haven't gone through to the top yet, so a bit more solder on these. There we go, it's good enough. So, there, we have populated the power supply and reset. What I'm going to do right now is to verify that they're all working. So I'm going to get a 12 volt power supply, or 9 volt actually, plug it in, see if it lights up, and test some voltages on the board. 12 volt power supply. That one should do. Actually, want a 9 volt, not a 12. 9 volts are here. That one there looks like an appropriate candidate. I could have used the bench supply, but I think this is more appropriate. It's got the barrel jack already. All I have to do is plug it in. So if we plug that in there, turn it off, plug that there. We get a light up straight away, and then it goes. That's not a good sign. That's not a good sign. Do I have to cut that? Let's read the manual, shall we? I have a sneaking suspicion I need to cut that. Okay. For higher input voltages, use a fixed 5-volt regulator as U1, putting insulation tape on top of the jumpers to avoid shorts. Populate 1 and 3. Oh, capacitors 1 and 2. So, what I need to do is pop that up a little bit and give it a try. Got the light on. Let's try some voltages. Let me just turn on the voltmeter. Let me transition. Okay, let's have a look-see. Now, we've got ground there. We should have 9 volts on one side. Oh, sorry, ground is there. Should have 9 volts on one side, which we do. Should have 5 volts on the other side. I won't be reading any voltage there. There we go. Hang about, that's not right. Let's see what I'm doing. That should be 9.2, that should be 5. That's 9.2, we've got a problem. Okay, unplug that. I think the problem is I've got to cut that. Yeah, the sneaking suspicion I've got to cut that. So let's cut it, shall we? I think that's about right. And we'll try it again. These things are sent to try us. .2. 5 volts. That's much better. That's looking much better. So I need to put a bit of mica. I do have some mica insulators for the T220 packages. I'll dig them out later on and stick it on. Okay, so power supply part works. Let's unplug it. And we shall now start populating, to spin this around, start populating the slots. How many slots were we given? We were given 6, no, total of 8. There should be enough for each slot. Now, have these actually got indicators for pin 1? I don't think they do. Nope. Nope. can't see if anybody's joined. I don't think they have. I'm on my own today, boys. On my own today. Well, actually, what I do want to do is put the decoupling caps in first. There should be a bunch. 6. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on here. These are all the same, are they not? 104, which is 100 nanofarads. Ah, see, there we go. That's a K5. Oh, hang on, let's check the other side. 104s, and these will be 104s as well. Yep. So it doesn't particularly matter which bunch I use. I just need 8 of them. And let's go through, put them all in, and then solder them all in one hit. Yeah, don't drop them. Let's see, I think I want the 104 value to be pointing this way. So we then that. Four. Another 104. Yep. In there, and what else we got? We need another 4 of them. Drop one. Sorry, drop one. Where to go? There it is. Almost fell off the table. Yeah, getting there. Another 3 to go. 2, 3. That's it. Last but not least, make sure I put it the right way around. Yep. These aren't polarized, I just want all the text facing a specific way. Soldering on, heat up again. There we go. One, 2. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. There we go. 8 decoupling caps. We'll trim the legs. Now I'm tossing up whether I'm going to throw these into my ultrasonic to clean them. I might do that as I'm building the other boards. Just so that the thing looks really nice once it's finished. Got stray junk. Now, I noticed I was a bit aggressive on 1 or 2 of this. I might rerun the soldering iron over them, just to be safe. From what I'm hearing from my tiny speaker in my Mac Pro, there's an awful lot of banging going on. I think the microphone is way too close, but it's not a particularly good microphone. So I'm not sure if it's going to be any good if I move it. I forgot to cut that one. So I might just move it anyway. And there's no one here to help me test. That's a bit bummer. I'll put it up here instead, away from the banging and everything. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. And what I will do is turn the gain up a bit. It should hopefully help with the noise. Still got this one to cut. Okay, decoupling caps in. Now the tedious part. I've got to get these connectors in. I'm going to do them one at a time, and I'm going to use blue tack to hold it in while I pin a couple of the solder a couple of the pins to keep it in, so I can straighten it up and level it and straighten it up. Do the top and the bottom. Pop that out. Now, oh, sorry, once again. Why am I not surprised? Stop doing that, Randall. What's that? I think that's right. Push it this way a bit. That way you can see it. Now, that's nice and level. It's looking good. Solder the middle down. And to make sure it's flat. Now, so I don't keep knocking the camera over, I'm going to solder them this way. Maybe. Spin around this way, I think. Way. Move this light a little bit. That's better. Now I can actually get in close and see what I'm doing. These edge connectors, or these slots for the modular computer, are the ones that make the most mess on the actual circuit board because of the amount of soldering you have to do to put them on. So printed circuit, the backplane is absolutely going to be thrown in the ultrasonic cleaner. And it'll make it look quite pretty. I did that with my original RC2014 Pro the other day when I was trying to get it working again. It had a dead RAM chip. It took me a bit to figure out that it was a dead RAM chip, because the ROM WVW worked on it fine, but it's got the ROM WVW RAM and ROM board. Oh, g'day Tony, and how you doing? Is the sound okay, guys? I've been messing around with the microphone because there seemed to be an awful lot of noise coming through while I was doing this. Hope so. If not, I'm going to have to investigate getting a better microphone. Yes, this is the... Oh, sorry, I got the light in the way. This is the RC2014 Classic II Fundrauser model. And as you can see, the Fundrauser model is for a certain crisis there is in the world at the present moment, showing support. And I'm just going through, started putting on the slots for the beast. This is a tedious part, lots of soldering. There are 8 slots. I think they're 43 pin slots. So yes, this is the tedious soldering part. What I might do to make it a little less painful is actually just put 4 on for the moment, 5 on for the moment, because that's all I need to get this thing working at the end of the day, and the other cards are a bit simpler. That exhaust fan is not the exhaust fan. That exhaust fan is in fact my Mac Pro. I think I may need to put it further away. That's what's doing the streaming at the present moment. It's handling it quite well. It's currently using a massive 20% of CPU. So let's get some of the central boards done, and I can let's do it this way. That way I haven't got the soldering iron in your face all the time. You probably could have chosen a better subject. There's an awful lot of soldering in this thing. And you missed my use of my voltmeter display that I knocked up in Python yesterday. I'll do some more checks with it later when I start checking the boards out. So many soldered pins. And I didn't even check to see if this was level. Silly me. It's going to be what it is going to be. I've had my eyesight on. So this is the first stream someone's actually been able to give me feedback on, so yes, any suggestions will be good, as long as it's not going out and spending a butt ton of money, because I need to save my money for a certain for 1200. Well, it's not particularly straight, but we can bend it into shape. She's right. Oh, bridge. Gone. There we go, there's another one on. Didn't take too long. Needs text to speech. I just need a drink. Yeah, unfortunately my cameras, and it's hard to show them, are set up in a really dodgy way. I need to get a proper tripod and have an over-the-shoulder view. So there's two. Let's put another 3 on. That should be enough to get the thing running. I can put the others on later. So let's bit of blue tack. Pin the ends. Okay, let's see. Is that upright? Looks like it might be. Let's just verify that. Let me take that one. The delay is annoying. to say the least. Okay, that looks good. Let's go through and solder these ones up. Looks like I'm going to have to order another roll of solder soon. This one's starting to get a bit thin. I have a bit of an obsession about these little Z80 homebrews. Got quite a few of them. They're fun to play with. I think it's the simplicity of them. The fact that they'll actually run basic from ROM. A bit difficult saving your programs, though from what I gather most people just cut and paste. They write their programs on their PCs and then just cut and paste into Terraterm to program up with both basic and assembler. But this one can actually have a compact flash card, and it can run CPM off a compact flash, which makes life a little easier. It's a much more user-friendly environment, and it works really well actually. Been meaning to have a go at my Zeta 2 because I believe I can actually get an Ethernet adapter running under CPM. Someone's written a TCP stack for CPM, and you can use a standard Ethernet module, Arduino style module, to actually connect them to the internet or to your network. Similar to the MTCP for DOS. I think it's got a couple of programs and an FTP server. It's another bridge. There we go. At the present moment, well, actually no. The RC2014 now actually has a number of video cards and keyboard cards available. There's the Pi, I can't remember what it's called, Pi GX. It's one of the first cards that came out. It actually uses the Pi as a terminal window. But there's also VGA cards for them and a few other cards, I believe. Pretty cool little beasties. So that's 3. We'll get this one on and another one on, and then we can move on to the other cards and try and get a working system without having to wait 2 hours. There's still a butt ton of soldering on the cards as well, because you have to solder on the edge connectors, edge connectors for the cards, the modular cards. So there's still a butt ton of soldering to do. Well, let's get to it. Try and get these done quickly. And I'll throw this into the ultrasonic cleaner while I'm building the other boards. That's not straight. Now it's straight. Okay. Yeah, Jace, I've got to re-watch your live stream from yesterday. See the bits I missed. It turned out very good. And the fact that you actually got quite a nice looking C64 out of the entire deal. What? No, I don't have the Cerberus. I've got to save my money for the A1200. They're about, I did a quick calculation, Aussie dollars delivered, they're about $500-600. The Cerberus. It's a really nice looking beast. Love to get it, but there's also the Amiga. I want to do the Amiga, which is Sergei Keselev's MSX beast. It's about $600 or $700 Aussie all up. And there's also the I want to get the chip tester, the retro chip tester, and it's about the same. All expensive. It's really freaky having that bloody delay on it. But I'm getting there. I've got what? There's 4 on here, almost 4 on here now. Once I get the 5th one in, this will go out and into the ultrasonic cleaner. And then I will come back and start on the cards. CPU card's the simplest. It's all it's got on there is a single 74 series logic chip and the Z80 and a couple of resistors. So it's a nice quick board to build. No idea how long this is going to take. Maybe 2-3 hours, I don't know. Can't remember. I remember the Pro took me all day. But this is not the Pro. The Pro is considerably more complex, a lot more bits and pieces on it. So I'm going to put one more of these connectors on, and then we'll move. Then this can go into the. I'll double check the voltages. Then this can go into the ultrasonic cleaner, and then we can start on the CPU card. Yeah, they're all XE. Anything from overseas. Anything from overseas. But the retro chip tester looks like a really cool beast. Okay, make sure these are straight. We need some more Aussies to do some development work on retro computers here. That's all we need. Peripherals are cool, but you know, come on guys, start designing real computers. So what config is that A1200 you might be selling? soldering iron. I think I need a new tip for my soldering iron. I think I've worn this one out. To go up on eBay and order a new one. I do like this TS100. It's been a bloody awesome soldering iron. I do have another older soldering iron that I can pull out when I need to attack some really big ground planes. Generally this just works beautifully with all the stuff I've been doing. Well, I have a sneaking suspicion when I actually attack that Gould power supply, I'm going to need a more heftier soldering iron to pop those caps out. Because there's a couple of big caps on there. It's got reefers, and the reefers are all cracked, all 5 of them. So I'm waiting for them to blow up next time I put the power on. I'm just not getting anything out of the low voltage side. Not a squeak. Could be something wrong with the feedback channel, I don't know. It's just not getting anything. I'd really like to get that Gould soldering iron running, oscilloscope running. It's a really nice looking scope. It's looking a bit better. Let's do some voltage check, shall we? Ooh, 840, very nice, very nice. Recap by Bruce, hey? Floppy drive replaced, hard memory. Oh, I'll go looking for it. I will go looking for that video, mate. Okay, let's plug the power supply back in. Let's just switch to the other view. And we will see whether or not we're actually getting voltages where we should be getting them. Okay, good view there. Okay, let's have a look at the, tighten that off to stop it from moving on me. Have a look on the regulator. It should be 5 volts. Are you seeing that up the top there, 5 volts? Well, it should be ugly. We've got 9 volts coming in, which is the power supply I'm using. So it's 9 volts. Now, let's see what we've got on the motherboard itself. We should have ground there and 5 there. Yep, we've got 5 volts. So there's no shorts on the board. The board looks good. Just unplug. What I do need to do is get I've got a mica insulator and proper insulation what's it called, washer and stuff for the regulator. I need to put that on, but I haven't got them out at the moment. I have to go fossicking. So hold on for a couple of minutes and I will go put this board into the ultrasonic cleaner, then we can have a squizzy at it. So this is the before. Let's switch back. This is the before cleaning. Yeah, that light's really bad for it, but yeah. That's what it looks like at the present moment. Yeah, as I said, I need to put a washer and insulator underneath the regulator. for the moment it can go in. I'll be back shortly. Yeah, the board doesn't quite fit into the ultrasonic cleaner, so I'm going to have to do half and half. So it's going to have to go out in about 4 minutes and swap it over. In the meantime, can't see that. Let's switch back. In the meantime, CPU time. Just that board there. As you can see, they're really small. And not much to the CPU board. As I said, some jumpers, a resistor, and the CPU itself. And a decoupling cap. So let's shove this in here for the moment. And do the decoupling cap first. Tiny green text is hard to see. I'll change that. It's easy enough to change. I just need to change the terminal profile. It's essentially just a Python program running in a terminal program that polls my BK precision scope once every second or so to get the value. And seems to work okay, but yeah, it's the first time I've used it, so I'm not sure how well it shows up in the stream. Might have to use some different fonts and colors. Shove this beastie on. Soldering iron heat up. I just realised I am really running out of solder pretty quickly. What have we got here? I'll switch back to the side view. It's a bit better, I think. Yeah. It's looking okay. Click that. And we've got a 3.3K resistor. 3.3K resistance. See it here. Yeah, I watch too much bloody EV blog. Got into the habit of clipping off the tape, and we want it to go that way, just to allay my OCD. Make sure everything's pointing the right direction on each of the cards or boards. And since it's a special edition, might as well do something, do it nicely, hey. Nice. Make sure the lining, yeah. Focus is not very good though. It's a bit better, I suppose. So what else do we need on here? Don't think in this particular version, don't think it puts the, let's have a look. Don't think he's actually got the, what's the name on the board. This is optional, do not populate, yeah, I'm not going to use it, so I don't need to put that on there. It's just essentially CPU socket. Yeah, Spencer's gone all out to be eco-friendly with his packaging. All the chips are the only thing which is in plastic, which is the anti-static stuff. Everything else is cardboard or paper. Nice work. I think that is the one I need. No, I don't need those. Actually, that's a good idea. Nixie tube font. I'll have to go looking for one. I mean, I thought the LCD display was a good choice, but it doesn't have a bold font, so you've got to make it really big before it actually becomes discernible, I think. So perhaps you're right, maybe what I need is a Nixie tube font. Mind you, that is the voltmeter I'm reading, and it's got a VFD, and I bought this about 6 months ago specifically because it had a VFD. Bought it new. Mouser was selling them. Yeah, I think that's about right. Yeah, focus. Thank you. Okay, a bit of blue tack to hold this down. Give it a bit of a solder. Yeah, I was surprised that there was actually a benchtop bloody multimeter still available. Sorry, got my hand in the way again. Still available on the market, new. Let's spin this around this way so I'm not got the soldering iron in everyone's face. Clamp this down a bit tighter, get that back out of the way. That should be a bit better. And if I tilt it slightly that way, I have the soldering iron pointing down, can't I? So I'm not hitting the camera every time I go to solder something. Yeah, Spencer did a bit of a job restarting the Hackaday, that's it. Restarting or reinvigorating the homebrew computer community with his RC2014. Very simple design. Kicked off a lot of people's imaginations to build similar machines and also modules. There is a surprising number of kits you can buy for modules for the RC2014. Things like compact flash cards. There's the ROM WBW, which is truly an amazing project. I mean, Sergei Keselev was messing around with this homebrew stuff quite a bit, but it wasn't until Spencer actually sort of evangelized the idea of homebrew computers and it's simple to design computers that it took off. And Stephen Cousins has built literally 40-50 different modules and different computers with the Z180. He's writing his own monitor for it as well. I mean, for example, this is one of Stephen's, which I thought was very cute. This is the SC131. Get it to focus. That is a CPM pocket computer that uses serial, but also has an SD card. Focus. You can focus. Come on. Yeah. Anyway, it's got an SD card in it, and it runs CPM at a massive 0.018 gigahertz. Okay, I think this is done. I don't think I know. Well, actually, it's not done. I've got to do the edge connector now, which is going to be tricky in this thing. But anyway. Yeah, that's not going to work that way, but might work that way. Actually, I'm going to have to turn the other one that way as well. That's a bit better. Now, question is, do we do it this way? Yes, we do. We do it this way. I'm going to make sure we get it the same way each way. Though I think he's got it on that side. So it goes like so. Put a bit of blue tack here. Tin the tips and see how we go. Yeah, Stephen Cousins has made about 5 different Z180 based homebrews, all different types to do different things. There's now a couple of different homebrew bus standards out there, and he's done, there's the RC2014 bus, which is the one I'm using on this, and there's also the Z50 bus. That is really shitty. How about I do this so I can actually see what I'm doing? That's a really bad solder joint there. And yeah, Stephen Cousins has been very prolific. So's Sergey, but while Stephen messes around with Z80s, Sergey messes around with everything. He built an XT, he built a Z80, he built an MSX. This is designed and built. Very smart chap. He's also done a multitude of different types of cards, and I want to do his XI8088, which is an XT class machine, plugs into a standard ISA backplane that you can buy cheap off eBay, and then start plugging things like VGAs and serials and SCSIs and all the rest of the stuff in to it. And the new XT version 2 I bought off Jacob, what's his name? Dawn? JD? Was inspired by Sergey's work on the XI88 and the XT IDE stuff he did, and a bunch of other bits and pieces. And the Nuxt is a really cool little XT class machine. I have it out in the garage. I haven't got it set up at the present moment, but it's got an Ethernet card in it, and I can fire off the FTP server on it and dump files on and off it. Very useful. And it's got a lot of the work that Sergey did built onto the actual motherboard itself, so it's all integrated. Almost got this done. Then we'll move on to, this can go out and be washed with the other half of the back plane, and then I will move on to probably the ROM and RAM cards, which are both reasonably simple, and it shouldn't take me too long to do. That's the clock and reset card. It's the ROM, oh sorry, that's the clock and reset card. We've got the 32K RAM card, or is that the wrong card? No, it's the 32K RAM card. And then there's the 64K ROM card. The last one is the serial card. So they're all actually needed to get this thing running. So yeah, I'm gonna have to build them all. So I may not finish this today. I may start another stream next weekend and finish it. We'll see how we go. I think I'll get the clock card up and running next. And I might call it a day. But these two, this is now done and can go in the ultrasonic cleaner. Back in a sec. Yes, they are neat little cards. Let's get the... I think this will be the last one I do for today. I'll get the reset and clock card done. Yeah, come on. Yeah. Not much to it. Crystal, a couple of caps, some resistors, a switch, and a 7404. To do this, I want it to probably around this way. This jig can be an absolute godsend sometimes, but other times it can be a real pain in the ass, especially since it's made us so cheaply. I mean, it is J-car stuff. I know you can pick them up for about $15 on bloody AliExpress. Pretty crap, but very useful. Okay, we need one of these beasties. Actually, let's put the caps on. What do we need for caps? 22 picofarads, which will be probably, where are they? These ones maybe? Yep, that's them. And they go in. I want the text to go this away. Just to satisfy my OCD. So that goes on that way. It's funny, one of the Stephen Cousins machines I bought had some very cheap ceramic 100 nanofarad decoupling caps in it. What I usually do, I'm not doing it today, but what I usually do is use one of these. Just double check everything first. And the decoupling caps came up at about 30 nanofarads, not 100. So I shot an email off to him and said, yeah, you might want to second guess your supply for decoupling caps. He wrote back to me and said, yeah, I know, a whole bunch of them came out that way. I'm not buying from that guy again. He said it shouldn't matter though, and it shouldn't. They're just decoupling caps. So I just left them in there. It didn't bother the circuit. The circuit worked fine. But that's the stuff you got to come to deal with when buying from China, especially from AliExpress. Some of them are as dodgy as hell. I'll put the crystal on next. No, I'll put the resistors in first. So what resistors? A 1K, a 1 meg and a 2.2. Absolutely better than none at all. Now these resistors, there's 2.2, which I believe is that one. Goes down the bottom. Once again, OCD, get them the right way around. There is one cap on the A500++ that I built. I was very, very particular about how I laid out the passive components, except for one capacitor. I put one capacitor around the wrong way, just to trigger anybody who was having a close look at the photos. that must be the 1 megabyte resistor. I really did enjoy building the A500++. It's still one of my prized possessions. It's just over there. It's just over there. Absolutely loved building that machine. It was a joy, and it was a real rush to turn it on for the first time and actually see the kickstart screen come up. That was awesome. Wasn't perfect, of course. I had no sound out of it. But that was just that turned out to be an inductor on the output stage of the amplifier that I'd forgotten to put in. It took me all of about 5 minutes to fix. And then I had sound and everything. It was excellent. It was a great project, but it was expensive and it was scary as hell. It was a major project that I hadn't even done anything like before. All the custom chips, which were so hard to find and so expensive. Just a scary project, which was a large part of why it was so expensive in the end, was the custom chips. I ended up paying something like close to $300 for 3 Fat Agneses, of which one died, which justified me buying spares, but still very expensive. And now I've still got to spend even more money on it. They are so close to releasing the transparent case for the A500 up on A1200net. I am definitely buying one of them for my A500++. That is a definite. Now, fat finger in the way again. Great. So yeah, looking forward to the A500 in my A500++ in a transparent case. It's going to be cool. Okay, let's put this bastard in and see what we get. Need some blue tack for that. Don't shove your hand in front of the camera, Dill. Let's take that off. Just make sure this is in nice and straight. Ooh, getting close. 100 nanofarad decoupling cap again. It's one of these beasties. Make sure it's the right one. Yep. Facing this way, facing that way, face this way. This beast down. Thanks for dropping in, Tony. I appreciate it, actually, and the good feedback. yes, the Fat Agneses. Funny thing about the two Fat Agnes I bought, I mean, I bought one with a bunch of custom chips from a dead 500 plus from a guy in the UK, and it cost me, I think, $250 for the complete set, and that included Denise and Gary and all the others. I had a couple of spare CIAs from Jason's old A500 spares board I bought off him, but after I built the 500, got it working, it would have been about 2 months when the Fat Agnes finally gave out, the original one from the A500++. So I ended up buying, I think it was Dave Merton sold me 2 new old stock Fat Agneses that he had from his father's Commodore repair business. It was still in the tube, so I got 2 of them off him at $100 each, and that's what's in there now, and I've got a spare. So very expensive, but it's my 500, it's mine, so it's important enough. That's why I'm willing to spend, I'm sure, what's going to be at least $400 odd for the transparent case. What that transparent case? Now we need one of these. And some blue tack to keep that in while I pin it down. Yeah, I had a 1000 back when I was first started my apprenticeship back in the early 80s. I think I got it around 1000 around 86 maybe. And I then gave that away, much to my regret nowadays, to a friend of mine, and then bought a 500. I think it was a Rev 5 500 I got. Make sure that's nice and flat and even. Yep, looking good. And I used the shit out of it. I started the Kuma Amiga users group. I did a whole bunch of things on it. I did some C programming and Rex programming and all sorts of stuff until I moved up to Canberra in, I think it was 1991, and started a job as a PC tech for a company called Blue Chip Electronics. And so I went away, the 500, and then I fairly certain years later, about a decade later, I gave it away to a friend. But I was really lucky with Ben Grimmett, or Ben Venn fame, because I went out and asked, has anyone got a 500 they want to sell? And Ben sold me a Rev 6 for $150. The floppy drive was a bit dodgy, but it had a butt ton of floppies, and it had a 500 board, 500k board, which was slightly damaged from the battery. But I went out and then started buying other bits and pieces, and then I bought the 500++ board and started building it. So it was, I still got it. It's out in my storage. It's my bog standard 500. So I've got a bog standard 500 plus the one I built. And I love the 500. I love the Amiga. I always have. I always thought it was before its time. And if Commodore hadn't been such idiots in their marketing failure, it could have been a much nicer future for the Amiga. But yeah. Anyway, this board is done. Let me go out and get the other two boards out of the cleaner and I'll show you how well they come up. Because I love this. It's an El Cheapo bloody ultrasonic cleaner, once again from Jaycar. But does magic. Back in a sec. Okay, now I use the detergent based, this can wait until next weekend when I'll do another stream, finish it off. I use the detergent based PCB cleaner that Jaycar sell as well in the ultrasonic cleaner, and whilst it does a really good job of cleaning the boards, it leaves detergent on the actual board itself. So I've got to rinse the boards first. Then I hit them with isopropyl alcohol to rinse them down. And then let the ISO dry, and you end up with a really nice clean board. Like so. Yeah, come on. Focus. Come on, you can focus. Really? You're not going to focus on me? There we go. Does a pretty good job. Anyway, they need to dry, so I'll put them out of the way. But for now, I think I'm going to call it a day. How long have I been streaming for? I have no idea. Don't even have a timer set. Something's got to tell me how long I've been going for. 2 hours. Almost perfect. 2 hours. So thanks very much for your time, Tony. And I am going to call it a day, and I'll probably jump on again next Sunday and try and finish it off. 2 hours for this lot. Yeah, I think the rest will only take me 2 hours. And I might put the extra slots on the motherboard for next weekend, so I don't have to go, you don't have to sit through that stuff. So thanks very much, Tony, and I will catch you later. See ya.